interest in our economy is so great that, in my view, a coalition for growth has actually formed up, not by politicians, not by anybody in particular who's been elected or even appointed office, but the people themselves have said we need a change. And that, in a nutshell, is why I'm running for governor. More than anything, upon reading this presentation, which is awfully good, and I was in Bennington today, and I saw firsthand much of what you posited. And more than anything else, it's a case for urgent action on behalf of our economy, and I mean urgent action. On top of that, we have slides that will be available on our website, but let me give you a glimpse of a couple of them. 9 counties have experienced population declines between 2010 and 2014. It's a nearly perfect proxy for economic vitality. The town of Bennington population hasn't grown since 1980, so this is not a recent phenomenon. Brattleboro's been flat since 1970. Rutland's at levels we haven't seen in 90 years. Newport may be going back to 100 years, plus or minus. Think about this. We added 1,222 jobs from 2008 to 2014. That's 0.5%. The national average was 3.8%. And you could have guessed that half those jobs might have come from one employer, Dealer.com, which added about 550 people in that period. Chittenden County looked younger, but if you take Burlington out, which is quite a young city, average age 27, Chittenden County looks at just about the way the rest of the state looks, and about 10% older than the national average. So even Chittenden County has experienced what the other counties have experienced. We worry about young workers, and you're right, a lot of them have disappeared, but some remain. Would you like to know what's happened to them? These are 19 to 34-year-olds who've remained in Vermont. 23% live with their parents, 20% live in poverty. Those are the ones that stayed. Our state is an extremely expensive place to live and to operate a business. Some of it's our location, northern tier. Some of it relates to simply weather, unavoidable coincidence of events over time, but much of it relates to a government that supplies us with mandates. And we now are the 7th most expensive state in the union, but we don't have incomes that are anywhere near that. The Vermont Digger analysis, more than anything, I thought, demonstrates the provable fact, provable elsewhere, plenty of research on this, that a bad economy invites poverty, food insecurity, versions of crime, drug and alcohol abuse, spousal abuse, net migration out by young men and women who should have remained. Now wait a minute, while all that's happening, and it's fairly dismal, but there's always good news in just about anything I've ever seen, but let me tell you more. The recovery from the very mild recession in 1999, hardly anybody remembers it, it was so mild, but it revealed that there are new big themes, such as technology and innovation rolling through the economy. But the fact is, at the very same time, it proved that old correlations that have driven public policy are broken. Economic growth and employment growth, productivity gains and wage growth, the match between education attainment and wages all busted. It may explain why so many PhDs are out looking for a job. I don't know. Now listen, there's plenty of upside. Economies are not stagnant. The best thing about the American economy is its complete unpredictability. And the best thing about Americans and Vermonters is our incredible spontaneity. That loud voice that is inside us, upon looking at presentations, is saying that the past will not be a good guide for the future. And if you want proof, look at Detroit, which was once the manufacturing center of the world, is now a ghost town. There are farms. There are farms in downtown Detroit today, or Seattle, which was a dump before Bill Gates moved his company from Albuquerque, and before Amazon was founded there, creating an ecosystem which is practically unmatched today. Our future is actually in our own hands. These massive changes outside of our state and even in the state gives us the opportunity to create the economy we believe is right. And what we have to do is work hard with new ideas, and whoever is elected governor is going to have to do it as a leader. So this is our moment, and let me give you 5 or 6 quick ideas. First, I've spent most of my adult life calling on companies owned by entrepreneurs or CEOs or other people. We need to build relationships. We should never, ever be surprised by a company leaving here. 96% of our employers are small businesses employing 60% of our workforce. We need to help them thrive. And while we're doing that, let's look for the gazelles, the handful of companies that literally explode before our eyes in employment, but get them before they leave the state. Stay right there. UVM has a technology transfer business which has created 21 companies. We should roll them out to all the other higher education centers, all the hospitals, wherever there's a nurse, there's somebody thinking of cures. And we should connect students. 42,000 students are here, 2/3 of them from another state. Half of Champlain College's graduates are here. UVM has 44% placed here. And finally, let's focus our limited resources on economic and workforce development capabilities so we use our resources like a laser. Thank you very much.